guys? Fight Fiend Mix here, coming at you with a new video. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and checking it out. Before I get started on the topic of the video, I just want to say thank you guys for watching my videos. The last video that I posted, which was in regards to the Garcia and Spence fight announcement, that video got about 250 some odd views in the week or so that I had it posted, and that's the most I've ever had, like, period, and then even more so within that short time frame. So thank you guys so much for checking that video out. I'll make sure to leave a link up here somewhere so you guys can check it out at your earliest convenience. So definitely want to make sure I say thank you to everyone, and I hope this video is equally as successful, if not more, and my future videos to come. Also, don't forget to check me out on fightnetradio.com with Lee Honish and Andrew Lapachet. We just did a show yesterday, Sunday. Today's Monday. I'm recording this on the Monday. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. So don't forget to check me out there. And then, of course, lastly, follow me on all of the social media platforms. Well, primarily YouTube and Instagram at fightfiendmiggs. Feel free to follow, like, subscribe, and leave comments to your heart's desire. All right, so on to the topic of the video. So it was announced. It's been doing the rounds a lot recently, but I want to say sometime in early April, it was reported that the streaming service DAZN was in some serious financial trouble, and they're pretty much running out of money, which sucks. They're forking out some major contracts with Saul Canelo Alvarez, which was worth like 350 million, 6 fights I think it was, and then 100 million for Triple G. So they're really raking out some real cash, or pumping out some real cash for some of these contracts, and lo and behold, it's now been them in the ass, and they're running out of money. It's been reported recently that even Eddie Hearn was talking about some of these fighters being overpaid, being partially his fault in Matchroom Boxing and DAZN. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now, and it sucks because this is supposed to be the era of the streaming services, right? And I don't mean like streaming services in general, like Netflix and Hulu. They've obviously been around. I'm talking about when it comes to professional prize fighting. The UFC has the UFC Fight Pass. They're also on ESPN Plus. Also on ESPN Plus is Top Rank, Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing. DAZN, which is the topic of this video, is has Matchroom Boxing and Golden Boy, and then also MMA has Bellator, and even I think Combates Americas, if I'm not mistaken. So there's these streaming services that provide us with professional prize fighting, an array of promotions. So this is supposed to be the era of the streaming service, and now one of the biggest ones is running short on funds. That begs the question: where does this leave our sport? And I mean boxing specifically. Where does this leave boxing? And back in 2018, late 2018, HBO left the boxing business. PBC, or Premier Boxing Champions, has been reported countless times that they've never turned a profit, and they're trying to sell. So they're primarily on Fox and Showtime. Who knows how much longer Fox and Showtime are going to be. Fox and Showtime are going to be in the picture. HBO is already gone. Showtime might be next. Who the fuck knows? That doesn't sound too good. And then now DAZN. It seems like the only one that's doing well is Bob Arum and Top Rank on ESPN Plus, primarily because ESPN Plus has a bunch of other sports. It's not just boxing or fighting. And DAZN does as well. But I mean, I don't know what else does DAZN have. I don't really watch too much more that isn't fighting. I mean, where they have darts or something, like competitive darts. I don't know what the fuck they have on there, but anyway, that's why the reason I'm making this video is just asking the question, like, where does this leave our sport? There was this narrative in like 2005, between 2005 and like 2010ish or so, that MMA and the UFC was taken over and was going to kill boxing, and kill boxing is on his deathbed, and it's a dying sport. Boxing is a dying sport. I've never believed that. I never believed that. To this day, I don't believe it. MMA is doing its own thing with the UFC. Boxing is doing its own thing. If boxing dies and is dying, it's not because of MMA. It's because of what it's doing to itself. The shitty ass corrupted judges, Let's be honest, some of these decisions are shit. And just for the record, I'm not saying that there aren't shitty judging. There isn't shitty judging in MMA. It is. There is, and it's very, very blatant. The thing is, when it comes to judging in MMA, I kind of feel like that's more incompetency. I feel like those judges aren't that well versed in mixed martial arts and the grappling and the kicking and the elbows and etc. So I just think that a lot of their judging is just kind of ignorance, and we have shitty decisions. When it comes to boxing, I feel that's just straight up fucking corruption, just flat out corruption. Let's just be honest. Some of these judges, and we get it. We're not fucking stupid. We see the cash cow fight against another guy, and if the cash cow wins, there's there's going to continue fighting, and there's going to be more fights in the future, more gigs for the judges. So of course they're going to give them the benefit of the doubt on some of those close rounds, and that's how it goes, which fucking sucks. It sucks bad for the contender. It sucks bad for us as fans, because at the end of the fight, when we hear a split decision, we're like, what the fuck, what, like, or whatever the hell it is. It's just like, I feel that's more corruption than anything. And let's just be real about it. Everything from the judges to the referees to the sanctioning bodies and the promoters, it's just dirty all around. Again, it's not to say that MMA isn't like that. We just haven't seen it as much. MMA hasn't been around nearly as long as boxing, so maybe it just hasn't gotten there quite yet. Hopefully it never does. But that's kind of what I feel boxing is hurting. I don't know if it's dying or if it's going to die, but it's hurting bad. Like, it's on the fucking ropes. It's like it's taking a knee right now. It got hit to the body and it's taking a knee. It's just like waiting for that fucking 8 count to stand back up. Besides the fact that HBO is out of the picture, who knows how much longer Showtime's going to be in the picture, or Fox for that matter. DAZN being in trouble. It really speaks to what state boxing is right now. And I I don't want to think that boxing is dying. I know that there are fewer superstars than there was before. There are stars, just fewer than the heyday, and however many golden ages there were prior. I don't like to think that it's gonna die. Boxing has been around longer than I've been live. It's been around for fucking centuries, and or at least professional glove boxing over 100 years. And I've never, like, I can't even fathom a world, the idea of a world without professional boxing on some sort of platform, some sort of network, some sort of streaming service. I can't picture life without that. So, I would like to think that it's not going to die, right? But that poses the question, like, what state is boxing in now that one of the major streaming services, DAZN, is in serious financial trouble? What's going to happen to some of these boxers? Where are they going to go? I mean, you have to assume there's plenty of boxers, so they kind of have to have a platform, right? But where does that leave? Where does that leave the sport? That's kind of one of the things that I thought about when I was reading that, because of so many things kind of, and again, it's one of the reasons I kind of feel like boxing is sort of like, you guys know how some people are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're like one major expense away from like going totally fucking broke. I kind of feel like that's how boxing is right now. Some of the corruption that really fucked us over, and by the way, I'm a fan. I'm just as much of a fan as anybody else. So it sucks when I'm watching some guy with a padded record beat another fucking can. We're like, what the fuck, or a shitty ass decision. So that shit sucks. But I feel like boxing is getting to that point where it's done so many, because of the corruption, has done so many things to itself that it's like losing fan base, and they're just one major catastrophe away from going flat fucking broke. And it just so happens this pandemic hits, and we're like, fuck, we got no fucking fights. This weekend we do have a UFC card that's going to be on ESPN Plus. That's main evented by Tyron Woodley and Gilbert Burns. So I'm definitely going to watch that. Fights are fights, but that's kind of the question that I posed to you guys. Like, where does this leave the sport of boxing? Like, how hurt is it? Is it really gonna die? Is it dying? Is it on his dying bed now? Now that it's, on his deathbed. This pandemic hit, and sports is only one of the things that this pandemic has hurt. In addition to small businesses and a bunch of other major businesses, even countless other things that I can't even remember. That don't even come to mind now. But me being a sports fan, particularly a boxing fan, and MMA, that hurts me. There aren't any fights. That shit sucks. So I don't like to think that the sport is dying. I hope not. You know, if it is, um, you know, what then? Where does that leave our sport without, you know, a platform? I would like to think that there's plenty of fighters to go to another network, but I mean, I remember specifically DAZN posting on their Instagram page like this funny clip of Office Space, and that scene where those guys are like out in the field like beating the shit out of that printer, and they're just like hitting it with a baseball bat and stomping on it, and they had like like photoshopped Canelo's face on one of those guys, and then Daniel Jacobs, and then I think Michael Buffer, and then the printer was pay-per-view, was the pay-per-view model, and they were just being the shit out of it, right? Because it was a thing. It was like, man, no more pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is dead, and now we have the streaming services, and now one of the major streaming services is pretty much fucked. So you know, guys, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I can't picture a world without boxing in it because it's been around longer than I've been alive. But it certainly shocked me when HBO left the boxing business last year. Hearing Jim Lampley or Larry Merchant or Max Kellerman or Roy Jones, Bob Papa, those guys on HBO Championship Boxing or Boxing After Dark. That's kind of like the soundtrack of my life. You know, I tune in, and I'm so used to hearing those voices, and even, you know, in Showtime with Steve Farhood and Al Bernstein, and you know, I hear those fucking voices, and it reminds me of that. It's so boxing, and you know, I mean, Showtime is still around. Boxing isn't anymore. When Showtime or when boxing left the picture, or shit, when HBO left the picture, I was like, damn, where does this leave boxing? But you know, we have the streaming services now, and it seems like I said the only one that's doing well is Bob Arum and ESPN Plus because they have other stuff, and it's not just boxing. So you know, they definitely did well by going to ESPN Plus in addition to the UFC. You know, and there was there's this documentary type series or series, yeah, with what is this, talking about the dynasty, I think of I haven't watched it, but it's called The Last Stand or something like that, with Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls during their dynasty, and it goes over that, and that's new content, right? It's new content that everybody wants to watch, and it's on ESPN Plus. I heard it's really good. I heard it's even like really good for the people that don't even watch basketball like myself, so I'm tempted to check it out. And then now this weekend we have a UFC card. So and then from what I understand, Bob Arum is going to be hosting, or it's going to be the starting up of boxing real soon, possibly even here in Las Vegas as early June. So ESPN is still up and running, or ESPN Plus, I should say, that streaming service. They're still up and running, and they're doing well. But as far as everyone else, I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. You know, hopefully I haven't rambled too long here, but is boxing dying? Is it on its deathbed? Is it not? Is it going to make another resurgence? Are we going to have another, you know, I don't know, network battle? I don't know how that's going to go down, but let me know what you guys think. You know, if I missed anything, by all means, let me know. Comment, you know, subscribe, like, whatever you prefer. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble about my thoughts about boxing and where it stands right now. And by all means, you know, check me out next week. I'm gonna try to post another video. I kind of go back and forth. I try to go back and forth and alternate between boxing and MMA. And I know my last video was boxing related, but this kind of got my attention, so I wanted to make a video on this as soon as I was able to. So thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you guys watching my video, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.